Hey, I told you I'd be back just right away, too. Yeah, well, we're back here with the Essenes. And of course, I've told you that it's about healing. And all these things that when we talk about healing in the Bible, it isn't a magical situation. It's not a supernatural healing situation. No one's getting brand new eyes, no brand new ears or anything like that. But the idea is that you're being restored in some way back to operating. But this time, with the changing of the guards, you're no longer, under Satan's control. You're, under God's control. And that means that, a grievous head wound has been healed. And that means that the right hemisphere of our brain is now occupied by a female host who's been there all the time. And I tell you, to make these stories out like the prodigal son, and you'll hear that in these stories here, if you were to pull up the Essenes book, you would find that mother is that place that heals you. And it's just interesting because it says just the opposite side, that it's falling around with the father that makes us sick. All right? It's just crazy. So here, I'm going to monitor you down. And I'm going to read to you. This is from the beginning of the whole thing. And this is book 1, the Essene Gospel of Peace. And it says, and the many sick and maimed came to Jesus, asking him, if you know all things, tell us why we suffer with these grievous plagues. Why are we not whole like the other men? Master, heal us, that we may be made strong, to abide no longer in our misery. And know that you have in your powers to heal all manner of disease, free from Satan and from all the great afflictions. Master, have compassion on us. And Jesus answered, happy are you that hunger for the truth, for I will satisfy you with the bread of wisdom. Happy are you that you knock, for I will open the door for you of life. Happy are you that you could cast off the power of Satan. I will lead you into the kingdom of your mother's angels, where the power of Satan cannot enter. And they asked him in amazement, who is our mother, with which her angels? Where's her kingdom? Your mother is in you, and you in her. She bore you as she gives you lives. It was she who gave you your body. And to her shall one day give it back again. Happy are you when you come to know her and her kingdom. If you receive your mother's angels, and if you do her laws, I will tell you truly, he who does these things shall never see disease. For the power of mother is above all, and it destroys Satan and his kingdom, and has rule over all your bodies and all living things. The blood which runs in us is born of the blood of your earthly mother. Her blood falls from the clouds, leaping from the womb of the earth, babbles in the brooks, the mountains, and flows wide in the rivers and the plains, and sleeps in the lakes, rages mighty in the tempestuous seas. The air which we breathe is born of the breath of our earthly mother. Her breath is azure as the heights of heavens, sought in the tops of mountains, whispered in the leaves of the forest, billows over the cornfields, slumbers in the deep valleys, and burns hot in the summer. The hardness of our bone is born of the bones of our earthly mother, of the rocks and of the stones. And let's see, they stand naked to the heavens and to the tops of the mountains. And as giants that lie sleeping on the sides of mountains, and idols set in the deserts, and are hidden in the deepest of the earth. The tenderness of our flesh is born of the flesh of our earthly mother, whose flesh waxes yellow and red in the fruits of the trees, and nurtures us in the furrows of the fields. Our bowels are born of the bowels of our earthly mother, and are hid from our eyes like the invisible depths of the earth. The eyes of our eyes, the hearing of our ears, both are born of the colors and the sounds of our earthly mother, which encloses us about, and as the waves of the sea a fish, and the feeding of a bird, or the edifying air a bird, as the edifying, I don't know how you say it, of the eddying air a bird. All right, so we're not going to go any further on this. We got the mother coming to life as one of these things that you got to have, or you won't have anything. Sounds like she's part of our blood, which is a spirit. That's what that means. And she's talking about the bird. She is the Holy Ghost. And this is talking about an earthly mother, and we are hid from her. I'm going to bring this back up. What is interesting about hidden from her, and I was also farting around and listening to books of Adam and Eve, and things that happened before. Well, just another book on these guys. It's just interesting as hell. It's about this cave of treasures. Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's interesting that whenever they enter this cave of treasure, when they're on the outside, they can see each other. But every time they get like afraid or scared or something, they fall on their face and just die. They kill themselves constantly on these stories. And as soon as they do, because God will speak to them no more. And then I said, well, in my mind, I said, till the next sentence, and then they'll get into some little trouble. They'll come to the ocean. They're scared to death. They're feeling the sun on them, so they're going to the outside, and they're finding things to make clothes and stuff. But they have to go back into that place. They have to go back into that cage and that cave. And when they're in this cave, they're in the cave, all he can do is hear her. All she can do is hear him. They can't see each other. This is the brain. This is how our brain works on God. All right, because but this is the cave. This is the cave of treasures. This is where it all is. It's where we cast our silver. That's our side. It's where we turn to gold. We hunt for gold. We dig for gold. It's just beautiful. It's just wonderful symbology. And you can see why this didn't make it into the Bible, because it really throws a loop in who Father is, and this idea that, who's this mother? Did you hear that? Just interesting. Who's that? Where is she? Well, they'll go on to tell you later on, because she's the one that you bring to life in order to chase the devil away. And as soon as we go under in our meditation, as soon as we go in and the skin is gone, and that puts the devil down. That's how the story goes, and that's why we are light. That's why the devil is a bringer of light. Without him, without Father's the one that turns around and says, you've had enough of of being in my control. Let's get mom to help us out now, you know, and the whole world gets better from that point on. That's the marriage. That's the marriage ceremony, the coupling. That's what it's all about, you guys. So, anyways, it's time for us to become matchmakers. All right. We want to get mom and dad back together again. All right. And of course, we know we're not talking about the outside mom and dad. Hope you got something out of that.